Most people assume the world's great powers can always protect the lifelines of global trade. Yet right now, as of April 6, 2026, one narrow stretch of water has brought markets, governments, and millions of viewers to a standstill. The Strait of Hormuz, just 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, normally carries about 1/5 of the world's oil and large volumes of liquefied natural gas. But something unexpected happened. Iran restricted shipping through the strait in retaliation for military strikes. Commercial traffic has largely halted. Oil prices have spiked. And the world is watching one question: what happens if they don't open it? Let's take you back so you understand how we reached this moment. Tensions between the United States and Iran stretch back decades, to the 1979 Iranian Revolution, the 1980 to 1988 Iran-Iraq War, and the so-called Tanker War, when both sides attacked merchant shipping in these same waters. More recently, disagreements over Iran's nuclear program, ballistic missiles, and regional activities led to the 2015 nuclear deal, the U.S. withdrawal in 2018, and renewed sanctions. Then came February 28, 2026. The United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes known as Operation Epic Fury. Nearly 900 strikes hit in the first 12 hours, targeting missile sites, air defenses, and leadership. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed, a development confirmed by Iranian state media and reported across Reuters, Al Jazeera, the New York Times, and the BBC. What followed changed everything. Iran responded with missile and drone barrages against U.S. bases, Israel, and targets in Gulf states. As leverage, Iranian forces, mainly the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, made transit through the Strait of Hormuz highly dangerous through threats, reported mining, and attacks on vessels. By March 2026, as documented by the New York Times and Al Jazeera, commercial shipping had almost stopped. But here's the hidden factor most people overlook. This wasn't just military retaliation. It was asymmetric economic pressure, disrupting global energy flows to force the other side's hand. Iran allowed limited passage for nations like China, Russia, and India, while keeping pressure on others. President Donald J. Trump, in his second term, directed parts of the campaign and began issuing public ultimatums to reopen the strait to free navigation. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu coordinated closely on operations. On the Iranian side, Mujtaba Khamenei was reportedly named the new supreme leader, while IRGC naval commanders controlled actions in the strait. The core conflict runs deeper than any single deadline. Long-standing mutual distrust, U.S. fears over nuclear enrichment and proxies versus Iranian grievances over sanctions and past interventions, created the conditions for escalation. And escalation came fast. On March 21, Trump issued an initial 48-hour demand, threatening strikes on power plants if unmet, as reported by the New York Times. Extensions followed, including a 10-day delay covered by PBS NewsHour. Additional strikes targeted energy sites. Retaliatory actions continued. By early April, the focus sharpened. On Easter Sunday, April 5, Trump posted on Truth Social, "Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one, in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell, just watch." He later set the deadline for Tuesday, April 8, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Those words were broadcast widely by NPR, CNN, Al Jazeera, Reuters, and ABC News. Iran pushed back hard. Officials rejected temporary ceasefire ideas and called for a permanent end to the conflict, as detailed in NPR and Al Jazeera reports on April 6. The IRGC stated the strait will never return to its former state, especially for the U.S. and Israel. A proposal for a 45-day ceasefire, mediated by countries including Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey, reached both sides. Trump called it significant but insufficient. On April 6, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced that Monday would see the largest volume of strikes since the operation began, with the possibility of even more if demands went unmet. A U.S. airman rescue operation added another layer of tension, covered live by CNN and other outlets. As the April 8 deadline looms, the situation has become a high-stakes test. Will economic disruption through the Strait force compliance? Or will continued military pressure push the conflict into a new and more dangerous phase? Diplomatic channels remain active amid ongoing exchanges and reported infrastructure damage. Casualty figures across the broader conflict vary by source, with thousands reported killed and millions displaced. Exact numbers differ between Iranian and Western reporting. This moment echoes the tanker war of the 1980s, when attacks on shipping in these same waters raised global alarms, yet the strait never fully closed for long. History shows how fragile these energy arteries can be. And yet, today the stakes feel even higher in our interconnected world. The events surrounding Trump's final warning over the Strait of Hormuz remind us that modern confrontations often hinge not only on military strength, but on control of the quiet infrastructure that powers everyday life, and the difficult choices leaders face when that infrastructure becomes the battlefield. We are watching developments closely as the deadline approaches. This dramatized retelling is based on documented reports from the New York Times, NPR, CNN, Al Jazeera, Reuters, ABC News, Bloomberg, U.S. Central Command statements, and other sources available as of April 6, 2026. Creative elements support narrative flow while remaining grounded in publicly reported evidence. Ongoing events are subject to further verification. What do you think happens next when the deadline hits? Will Iran reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or will we see even bigger escalation? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I read every single one. If you want more in-depth breakdowns of major global conflicts like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We'll be following this story closely and bringing you the next chapter as it unfolds. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.